Over the last few years, strange and remarkable discoveries have been made in Mexico. Excavation work, construction projects, and chance encounters with buried objects have brought to light artifacts that appear unlike anything typically associated with known ancient cultures. The images that have recently been shared on social media display artifacts carved with unusual designs, featuring beings with enlarged skulls, massive eyes, and shapes that bear uncanny resemblance to depictions of extraterrestrial life seen in modern times. What makes these discoveries all the more fascinating is that they were not found during planned archaeological digs, but rather stumbled upon by workers during everyday construction or tunnel clearing. This sense of randomness has only heightened the air of mystery. When something of this significance emerges unexpectedly, far from the eyes of major institutions, it challenges accepted knowledge and leaves many questions unanswered. Some of the carvings show humanoid figures with oversized heads and elongated eyes, their features distinct from typical Mesoamerican art. Others display what look like beings holding strange objects, as if representing advanced technology or sacred symbols now long forgotten. For many observers, the resemblance to modern depictions of grey aliens is undeniable. As researchers have long pointed out, more than 97% of human history has been lost. Written records only cover the smallest fraction of time, and oral traditions, while valuable, can fade and shift over generations. This means there are vast stretches of humanity's past that remain hidden from us. In this sense, the artifacts found in Mexico could be fragments of a forgotten history, evidence of an advanced civilization whose story has yet to be told. Supporters of this interpretation highlight how different cultures from across the world, separated by oceans and time, all seem to depict similar beings with large eyes and unusual heads. Cave paintings, stone carvings, and oral myths often point to encounters with entities who came from the skies. For some, this suggests a global memory of contact with advanced beings in the distant past, preserved through art and passed down in varying forms. Several diggers have stepped forward to give their testimony, explaining that these objects were not actively sought out, but discovered unexpectedly. One individual even described finding such an artifact and submitting it to a museum for study, only to be told later that the item had been misplaced and could not be located. This disappearance has fueled suspicion that such discoveries may be quietly hidden away, preventing them from being studied or reaching the wider public. Another set of discoveries was reportedly made during work on the Mayan train project, which began in December of 2018. Workers unearthed artifacts with the same peculiar features: large eyes, oval-shaped heads, and engraved patterns resembling extraterrestrial figures. Although some local news stations briefly covered these finds, the stories quickly vanished from mainstream coverage, leaving only photographs and social media accounts as evidence. There are those who argue these artifacts are fabricated, created to generate attention or profit. However, the circumstances of their discovery, often by construction crews with no incentive to fake such objects, challenge this skepticism. Furthermore, the fact that similar artifacts continue to emerge in unrelated locations strengthens the case for their authenticity. The artistry itself appears consistent with ancient craftsmanship. Carved from stone and adorned with geometric patterns, the objects resemble genuine relics rather than modern reproductions. The wear and weathering on some of the pieces also indicate age. While no definitive scientific dating has yet been provided for these particular items, the stylistic details resonate with cultural traditions far older than the modern era. If these artifacts are authentic, they may point to an advanced civilization that once thrived in Mexico, one with knowledge and beliefs different from what has been recorded in traditional history books. They may represent encounters with beings from beyond Earth, remembered and immortalized in stone by ancient artists. Alternatively, they could symbolize visions, dreams, or altered states of consciousness, with the artists depicting figures they encountered in a spiritual sense. Regardless of interpretation, the artifacts continue to captivate the imagination. For some, they are the most direct evidence yet of ancient contact with advanced beings. For others, they are symbols of humanity's long-lost past, fragments of cultures whose stories remain buried. Interestingly, shortly after the initial discovery, more of these artifacts were found that appear to depict disc-shaped objects and strange figures. The objects are carved and molded in ways that strongly resemble the saucer-like crafts so often described in modern accounts of unidentified flying objects. For many, the idea that artifacts resembling these objects have been unearthed in ancient soil is nothing short of astonishing. The collection includes small statuettes of humanoid beings standing beside the disc-shaped objects, suggesting that whoever created them was deliberately trying to preserve a story or representation. The humanoid figures are particularly striking, with large eyes and unusual features that bear no resemblance to typical depictions of people in the known Mesoamerican cultural styles. Instead, they seem to mirror the same appearance of the so-called visitors that have been described by countless people in modern times. This has led many to wonder whether the artifacts are more than symbolic, perhaps documenting encounters or visions from thousands of years ago. The discs themselves are just as intriguing. They are crafted with precision, with evenly spaced holes, geometric markings, and a form that unmistakably evokes advanced flying craft. Some even appear to have engraved details that could suggest propulsion systems or patterns not common in typical pottery or ceremonial art. The fact that these objects were found buried alongside humanoid depictions has given weight to the theory that ancient civilizations may have attempted to record encounters with beings beyond their own world. Skeptics argue that these artifacts might be modern fabrications planted to stir up speculation. Yet this claim is complicated by the testimonies of workers who discovered them unintentionally while engaged in ordinary excavation and construction projects. These individuals were not searching for evidence of lost civilizations or extraterrestrial beings, and their accounts of stumbling upon the artifacts lend credibility to the finds. Further doubt is raised by the fact that some of these objects have vanished shortly after being turned over to museums or institutions, leading to suspicion that not all discoveries are being shared with the public. What makes this mystery even more captivating is the consistency between these new finds and older depictions found in caves and ruins across the world. From ancient petroglyphs in the Americas to carvings in Africa and Asia, similar shapes and figures appear in cultures that had no contact with one another. The parallels suggest a shared experience, either through encounters or through visionary states that inspired civilizations to depict the same otherworldly beings and craft. As the debate continues, the Mexican artifacts remain some of the clearest and most physical pieces of evidence fueling the discussion about humanity's forgotten history. With estimates that as much as 97% of human history has been lost to time, it is possible that civilizations long ago preserved knowledge of encounters or technologies that were later forgotten. These artifacts might be fragments of that memory, preserved in clay and stone, waiting for modern eyes to rediscover them. For now, these discoveries remain shrouded in mystery. Were they artistic expressions, ceremonial objects, or genuine records of contact with advanced beings? The truth is hidden beneath layers of time and speculation. What is undeniable, however, is that the artifacts invite humanity to reconsider the depth of its past and the possibility that ancient people encountered and recorded things beyond what modern history acknowledges. They stand as silent yet powerful reminders that history may hold far more secrets than we currently understand. In the shadowy corners of our world, where human presence is scarce and nature reigns supreme, stories of mysterious creatures often emerge. One such tale comes from the remote LeBron Islands, where a fisherman claimed to have photographed a giant humanoid. The LeBron Islands are an archipelago devoid of human settlement, located in the Solomon Sea and under the jurisdiction of Papua New Guinea. The islands have been abandoned, leaving nature to reclaim its territory. The isolation and lack of human interference have turned the LeBron Islands into a haven for wildlife and a perfect setting for unexplained phenomena. The individual, who described themselves as a seasoned fisherman, often ventured to the nearby islands for their abundant marine life and tranquil fishing spots. He navigated his small boat through the rocky channels and anchored near the largest island, where he had previously found success with his catches. As he prepared his fishing gear, an unusual sight caught his eye. Past the shoreline in the distance, partially obscured by trees, stood a massive figure. At first, the man said that he thought it might be a large human who had made their way to the island, or perhaps someone who was part of a small, undiscovered native tribe. But as he zoomed in on his phone, he realized this was something entirely different. The figure was humanoid in shape, standing at least 10 feet tall, with long, muscular limbs and covered in dark, matted hair. Instinctively, the fisherman reached for his camera and began taking photographs. The man said that due to how far away he was, the creature seemed unaware of his presence, moving slowly and deliberately through the nearby hill. After capturing several images, most of which were blurry, the man managed to take one where the strange creature could be seen. After this, he watched in awe as the giant humanoid disappeared into the dense forest. He said that, although it's hard to make out, the images clearly showed a large, humanoid figure, far taller and broader than any known human or animal. The man shared his photos with local groups that investigate mysterious beings on the Solomon Islands, where it was then shared to other groups that investigate strange phenomena. The Solomon Islands, nestled in the tropical waters of the Pacific Ocean, have long been shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Among the myriad of strange tales that weave through the archipelago's rich tapestry of folklore and legend are those of the Solomon Island giants, mysterious beings said to dwell deep within the lush jungles and remote mountainous regions of the islands. According to local oral traditions passed down through generations, the Solomon Island giants are believed to be a race of colossal beings, towering over ordinary humans with their immense stature and commanding presence. Descriptions of these beings vary, with some accounts portraying them as gentle guardians of the land, while others depict them as fearsome creatures capable of great power and destruction. Regardless of their nature, the giants hold a revered place in Solomon Islands culture, revered as ancient guardians of the natural world. One of the most enduring legends surrounding the Solomon Island giants is their purported role as caretakers of the island's sacred sites and hidden treasures. According to legend, these giants are said to possess an intimate knowledge of the island's hidden caves, sacred groves, and mystical landmarks, serving as guardians of the ancient wisdom and spiritual energy that permeate the land. Tales abound of brave adventurers and intrepid explorers seeking out these giants in search of enlightenment and fortune, guided by the whispers of the islanders and the lure of untold riches. Yet, encounters with the Solomon Island giants are said to be rare and elusive, with few daring to venture deep into the heart of the island's dense jungles and rugged terrain where these beings are said to dwell. Those who claim to have encountered the giants speak of awe-inspiring experiences, recounting tales of towering figures emerging from the mist-shrouded forests or standing silhouetted against the fiery hues of the setting sun. During the 21st century, an emerging avenue of investigation into true giants has flourished within an often neglected setting, namely the Solomon Islands. Scholars and experts have unearthed a significant wealth of customs and narratives belonging to the native communities inhabiting the region. This newfound exploration into the realm of true giants not only sheds light on the folklore and legends prevalent in the Solomon Islands, but also offers a deeper understanding of how these stories came to be. The Solomon Islands, situated in Oceania to the east of Papua New Guinea, is a self-governing state consisting of a close-knit network of approximately 1,000 islands. Comparatively, it spans an expanse slightly below that of the state of Maryland, highlighting its significance in terms of landmass. The Solomon Islands have been home to Melanesian inhabitants for numerous millennia. In 1568, Alvaro de Mendana, a Spanish explorer, first encountered these islands and named them Islas Salomon. Subsequently, the United Kingdom established a protectorate over the Solomon Islands in 1893. The historical significance of the Solomon Islands was further highlighted when intense combat ensued between American and Japanese forces in the pivotal Solomon Islands campaign from 1942 to 1945, notably culminating in the famous Battle of Guadalcanal. The name Guadalcanal often triggers recognition among many Americans due to its association with this significant engagement. This rich tapestry of events underscores the enduring legacy and strategic importance of the Solomon Islands in both historical and global contexts. In the Solomon Islands' history, the influx of settlers is thought to have commenced as early as 30,000 BC with the arrival of Papuan-speaking communities. Subsequently, around 4000 BC, Austronesian speakers migrated to the islands, introducing cultural aspects such as the outrigger canoe. A pivotal period occurred between 1200 and 800 BC, when the Lapita people, ancestors of the Polynesians, journeyed from the Bismarck archipelago, bringing along their distinctive ceramics. The first recorded European visitor to the region was Álvaro de Mendana de Nera, a Spanish navigator who reached the islands from Peru in 1568. Prior to European contact, the indigenous population of the Solomon Islands had a reputation for engaging in chilling practices, many of which had frightened explorers who wanted to come to the island. Currently, the Solomons are home to a diverse linguistic landscape, boasting up to 120 indigenous languages spoken across the archipelago. Marius Boirayon, the research director of the Solomon Anthropological Expedition Trust Board Incorporated, stands out among the dedicated researchers exploring the phenomena of true giants in the Solomon Islands. An Australian by origin, Boirayon's immersion in the Solomons as a helicopter pilot and engineer led him to a deeper connection with the region, culminating in his marriage to a Solomon Islander. This allowed him to intimately understand and value the intricate blend of culture, folklore, and the harmonious coexistence between the natural environment and its inhabitants. As he delved further into the local narratives, he encountered tales of giants that intrigued him, prompting him to translate his newfound knowledge into documentation. Boirayon's endeavor not only sheds light on the mysterious accounts of these colossal beings, but also reflects his profound appreciation for the rich tapestry of the Solomon Islands' heritage and its enthralling interplay between myth and reality. In his publication titled Solomon Island, Mysteries, released by Adventures Unlimited Press in 2010, Boirayon delves into the intriguing revelations gathered from the indigenous inhabitants of the Solomons, among whom his wife belongs. It became apparent to him through his interactions that the islands were once inhabited by beings of immense stature, notably one individual towering over 10 feet tall, with indications implying that such giants could even grow to greater heights. These colossal beings, known as the Guadalcanal giants according to Boirayon, exhibit striking physical characteristics such as lengthy black, brown, or reddish hair, prominent double eyebrows, protruding red eyes, flat noses, and wide mouths, which seem to be typical traits among them. The existence of these unique beings has garnered attention in the media, further perpetuating awareness and fascination surrounding their presence in the region. Harry Trumbaugh's depiction, as depicted above, portrays a Malaysian true giant known locally as Orang Dalam, sourced from the Field Guide to Bigfoot and Other Mystery Primates in 2006. These beings are rumored to reach heights exceeding 20 feet and bear striking resemblances to those reportedly sighted in the Solomon Islands. The Orang Dalam is a fascinating creature that has captured the interest of researchers and enthusiasts alike due to its immense stature and purported similarities to other mysterious primates. Studies and accounts of these, in the Solomon Islands, there seems to be a lack of awareness regarding the potential significance of their giant race as a groundbreaking scientific revelation to the global community. Boirayon astutely observes the irony that the national emblem of the Solomon Islands is aptly named the place that time forgot. This suggests that the indigenous people of the Solomon Islands may not fully grasp the extraordinary value and significance their unique cultural heritage holds in the eyes of the world. The community of Guadalcanal, along with various other groups, is well versed in the tragic tale of Mango, a woman who passed away around 2 years ago. This narrative dates back to her being taken by the giants half a century ago, after which she spent approximately 25 years living among them, becoming assimilated into their way of life. Initially presumed dead by her own people, Mango's reappearance stirred disbelief and shock when she was discovered, in a delirious state, on the northeastern coastline, visibly pregnant and exhibiting signs of severe distress. It came to light that one of the giants had taken Mango as his spouse during her extended absence. Upon recognition, attempts were made to retrieve her, but her slippery skin posed a significant challenge for the rescuers. A resourceful individual among them devised a plan involving rough-edged leaves to immobilize and secure her with vines successfully. The ordeal left Mango scarred, leading to enduring instability. Despite her precarious state, she delivered a son of mixed descent, a child shunned by the community, eventually meeting a tragic end at the hands of his own uncle at the tender age of 5. Peter and a select group of acquaintances are privy to the child's final resting place, bearing witness to the somber aftermath of Mango's tumultuous and sorrowful life. This account of Mango's plight sheds light on a recurring pattern of similar occurrences within the community, serving as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities faced by individuals in such circumstances. The narrative stands as a testament to the resilience and fortitude displayed by those embroiled in such trials and is a poignant reflection of the complexities and tragedies that can unfold within a society. Reports of encounters with these purportedly colossal beings have persisted for decades, particularly among soldiers stationed in the region during World War II. During World War II, the Solomon Islands became a critical battleground in the Pacific theater. The islands were the site of fierce fighting between Allied forces, primarily American and Australian, and the Japanese Imperial Army. The dense jungles and rugged terrain of the Solomon Islands provided a challenging environment for the soldiers, contributing to the mystique and danger of their mission. Long before the arrival of Western soldiers, the indigenous people of the Solomon Islands had their own legends about giant humanoid creatures inhabiting the islands. These giants, known locally as mangis or momo, were said to be enormous, hairy beings that lived in the dense forests and mountains. The battle brought Western soldiers into direct contact with these legends, and in some cases, with the giants themselves. The first reports of soldiers encountering the Solomon Island giants emerged during the early years of the war. Soldiers on patrol or engaged in combat operations in the remote areas of the islands began to report sightings of enormous, humanoid figures moving through the jungle. These initial encounters were often brief and fleeting, with the giants disappearing into the dense foliage before the soldiers could get a clear look. Some soldiers, however, reported more detailed and harrowing encounters. According to these accounts, the giants were typically between 8 and 12 feet tall, with long arms, thick torsos, and covered in dark hair. Their eyes were described as deep-set and often glowing in the darkness. In one particularly notable incident, a group of soldiers claimed to have come face-to-face with a giant near their camp. The soldiers described a tense standoff, with the giant watching them intently before retreating into the forest. Another report involved soldiers who stumbled upon a cave that appeared to be inhabited by the giants. Inside, they found large, crude tools and animal bones, suggesting that the giants were capable of creating and using tools. The soldiers quickly retreated, unnerved by the discovery and the possibility of encountering the giants up close. The official response to these encounters varied. Some military commanders dismissed the reports as the result of stress, exhaustion, and the disorienting effects of the jungle environment. Others took the sightings more seriously, advising soldiers to avoid certain areas and to report any further encounters. Despite the lack of official recognition, the stories of the Solomon Island giants continued to circulate among the troops, becoming a part of the wartime lore. The accounts of soldiers encountering the Solomon Island giants add a compelling dimension to the study of these mysterious encounters. The consistency of the descriptions across different stories, combined with the pre-existing local legends, suggests that these sightings may be rooted in more than just imagination. Researchers who study creatures whose existence is not scientifically confirmed find these reports intriguing, as they provide potential evidence for the existence of undiscovered species. The interactions between Western soldiers and the indigenous people of the Solomon Islands highlight the intersection of different cultural beliefs and knowledge systems. The soldiers' encounters with the giants brought Western attention to local legends, creating a fusion of folklore that persists to this day. This cultural intersection underscores the importance of respecting and understanding indigenous knowledge and its contributions to our understanding of the natural world. As of right now, the stories of soldiers encountering the Solomon Island giants during World War II continue to captivate and intrigue. Whether these giants are real creatures, manifestations of local folklore, or the result of psychological and environmental factors, their legend endures.